Hello. I'm sad to confess I've been out shooting for a bit over 5 hours today. I've only been through about 10% of my files. I'm also sad to admit that I shot a little over 70 gigs of images. All of these are from the Nikon D850 and the 200 to 500 millimeter Nikkor lens, the 200 to 500 f5.6. It's kind of a really overcast, diffuse day. Like I said, these are only my favorite shots of 10% of the shots that I took, so I've yet to actually even go through um, most of my images. These are roseate spoonbills. This is a landing. It's kind of neat. It looks like their head has a one of those old movie rubber skull caps that you would put over top of your hair, or in my case, it just looks like the top of my head. This is as he was landing. Got some very interesting shots. There are also a lot of egrets that I took a lot of photos of, but I actually haven't gone to the second SD card slot where most of the egret shots are. But these are all continuous autofocus, 9-point continuous autofocus, and I thought this was an interesting shot. Let me zoom out here. This is in Capture One Pro 12. There was another roseate spoonbill. This one was landing, and I don't know if he was upset, but he kept clacking his bill, or basically, my interpretation was he looks like he was saying, "Piss off! You're landing in my territory here." Looks like an older roseate. They're very strange-looking birds, and when they spread their wings, they're actually so incredibly beautiful. A lot of detail. This was at 500 millimeters. Most of these were at 500 millimeters on the spoonbills at a distance of about, about 100 yards. There's about 12 of them out there. They kept landing one after another, and there's about a dozen people there. I love this shot. Actually, it's like a double profile of a single spoonbill. Of like if you were to make a drawing of this is what a spoonbill looks like in flight, this is what a spoonbill looks like on the ground. I think this is an older spoonbill here. See, his feathers are kind of missing on his neck. He's got interesting, he or she has interesting red plumage. I know that on these roseate spoonbills like this, that there's no distinction between male and female. They both have the same plumage, or at least I've been told that. Um, do have a lot of egret shots to go through. This is also a landing shot. Detail is incredible on these. So goofy looking and yet so majestic at the same time. It would be like what would happen if you were to cross a dodo bird with a pink eagle. Um, these birds love to clean themselves. They sit there and clean themselves endlessly. Some of the water droplets lifting off. And I got blur on the wings. I dropped the ISO, shooting an aperture priority so I get blur on the wings and yet isolate the lowest movement. And here you can see the water as the spoonbill is lifting off right here. All of these, like I said, are D850, 200, 500 Nikkor. So you get perfectly sharp isolation on the non-moving parts of the bird, yet you have the composition inferring obvious action, since the bird is obviously flying, of course. But, there's a tremendous amount of images to process. I'm not going to process all of them, of course. These are all over South Florida, kind of like rats. There's obviously an ibis bird. Got a lot of the egret shots to process. Some are quite amazing. Snowy egrets and larger egrets. Some of my favorite shots I haven't even looked at yet because I've shot, I said over 5 hours, I shot a bit over 70 gigs. Nikon D850 will chew up your XQD and SD cards really quickly. So anyway, thanks for taking a look, and it's kind of a cloudy, overcast day, and so I didn't get sunburned even though I was out for 5 hours today. Thanks for watching.